Boom, boom, boom.
Bam, bam,
Reminisce,
bam, bam.
reminisce, man. Carrying the traditions of saying Kofa because we got to go back and collect what we've forgotten. Usually we start at 7, but we at 8. 8 p.m. Eastern time, live and direct. Man, I go by Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Mine been the supreme, living the dream. What up? What
That's
up?
what's up, man. Yo, man, it's the new year, 2026. We made it, man. 2025 has been a wild year, man. So many things happening in hip hop, in life, and so many things just happening around the world, man, and, we're just trying to keep the faith and keep positive, keep motivated, and bringing in some of that new inspiration for 2026, man. I know you rang in the new year pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
did, I
close
did.
off
Yeah,
line, you know what I'm saying?
it was wild. I was also at a pretty. I was at a sex party that was themed Rocky Horror Picture Show to ring in the new year. It was wild. And then my January 1st, I celebrated even further and more adventures of Malcolm Lovejoy. And
That's what's up, man.
yeah, it's I feel optimistic. The world has conflict and turmoil and peace to Venezuela right now because they got invaded by the fucking orange piece of shit in the White House.
Jeez, man.
And like actual like old school colonial fucking South American banana republic colonial like exploit. Like can't believe they're still doing this shit in 2026. It's crazy. But we still positive. We still, there's also good in the world, and I still feel pretty good about 2026, man. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about 2026. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the energy feels fresh. I feel aligned. I've been planting some seeds. You know what I mean? That's something I've been doing, like planting seeds. I've been really getting some ideas, together because I know that we've been also talking about doing, what I'm saying, like more podcast stuff and different things. And I really want to get organized with that. So, a lot of ideas are coming about. I know you got some things on the go with the hip hop, like show and tell, which we're going to build on in a bit. But like I'm
Yeah,
saying, like just keeping, just adding on, I think the motive really is just to not stop. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. Like, just don't stop, find ways to pivot, to create. And I feel like when we're in our truth, when we're creating, that naturally creates a certain frequency, a certain energy. And that energy will become magnetic to those. Well, sometimes we attract to what we don't want, but it'll attract those who need to be aligned. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll
yeah,
see the vibe, and that will create new opportunities. So I kind of see it as this like building block. Like you put in this, and that connects it to this, and then that connects it to that, and then this opportunity comes about, and it's like that ping pong effect. So I really feel this year is going to be a lot of that, like some new environments, new spaces, new partnerships. Just it's like last year was kind of like the audit, like checking in inventory and making sure things are all right and whatever. Think, realizing like who needs to be around, who doesn't, old habits that work, habits that don't. And then now it's like, okay, now that we got that out of the way, now it's time for business, and that's the kind of the energy that I feel right now. So 2026, man, is going to be a vibe because I say so. So
yes.
yeah, we're going to make it, man. That's it.
I agree with everything you say, man. I totally agree 100% with that, man. It's we see the work that's in front of us. We're here. We've got to carry on the mission. We've survived a pretty rough year. It was the first year of a brutal that presidency. We changed our prime minister, and there was a lot of. I thought 2026 was a great year for hip hop. That much for sure. Definitely can celebrate that. I think 2025 was the best year for hip hop in all of the 2020 decade. So there's that. I'm very, very happy with that. But yeah, the year is anew and it's fresh, and we gonna go into this with optimism and focus and our master plan in our hands. And there is definitely, I've been seeing the universe keep giving a good lesson that we know when you speak on it well. But I just want to reiterate, like the importance of imperfect action is better than delayed perfection.
Ooh, I like that bar, man. That's a bar right there. And that's
Yeah,
something
man.
that I've been really building on, just in my life. just really, it's another way of saying, like, another way is really just the power of showing up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, things don't have to be perfect, man. They just have to be authentic, you know? So that's kind of like what stops me whenever I get in my head where things will be perfect and it's not. But I'll ask myself, is this authentic? Is it true? If so,
Hmm.
that's it.
That's
Stop.
it.
Stop. You're good.
That's enough. That's enough.
That's it.
Especially on this internet in this day and age. If it's
Yeah.
authentic, that's more than enough.
Yeah, yeah, and these days with everything, with AI and things looking so perfect all the time, like I kind of like the errors now. You know what I mean? I kind of like
Oh,
when someone messages me and there's like a spelling mistake or something like, it's
hell yeah.
interesting. You know what I mean? Like,
Hell yeah! To be honest, that was one of my favorite things about RZA's production in the classic. Just the little glitches, the little like imperfections that are like, oh, yo, this is like it's just really made by a human. There's like a fingerprint on it. There's like a fucking there's
yeah,
a little tear in it, but like that don't mean I still get the message. I still like I can still appreciate what's happening, and like
yeah, bro, that's
I'd
it.
rather get this than like wait 3 weeks just to get some like perfect version that really there's no such thing as perfection. Like,
Nah, man.
yeah.
That's it,
So,
man. You've been
so
chasing that forever, man. So just be, you know what I mean? Like your existence is already perfection, man. Like you just gotta tap into that frequency and let it do its thing. That's all it is. You gotta be
that's
that mind bender frequency. I gotta be the
that's
logic frequency, man. That's it.
That's it. And we're that every day. Like we don't need to wait till like holidays or like get all
Nah,
extra dressed up and be like need a perfect haircut and da 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 all that extra stuff. Like nah. Like especially that yeah, like I am at that point where I'm trying to get online and just figure out I just want to be online pretty consistently this year. Like I'm definitely
yeah.
want to bang these out and I want to do a little more yeah, actually, yeah, might as well. Like, this is actually one of the first events. I might as well
There you
go
go.
into it. The
Yeah, yeah.
on Friday, I was like getting my hair done. Shout out to my hairdresser, hip hop
Hey,
hairdresser, Miss
easy.
Naya. So like, yo, she be like got the illest hairdresser spot on done this. She has like a microphone there, so you can just freestyle in the middle of getting your
While
hair
you're
done.
doing your hair.
And she's got music playing all the time. She's just like beats and like rap
That's a
songs, and you're
vibe.
just like getting your hair done, and you just hearing like the
Word. I like
Mob Deep, and you're like, word up, this is cool. But like, so we're just, and she's always got good ideas. I'm freestyling, she's freestyling, and then she's like, yo. We're telling stories, and she's like, "Yo, why don't we just do a hip hop show and tell?" And we just tell stories. And I was like, "That's a great idea." So this Friday at her Loft 104 in the Junction, we're gonna do hip hop show and tell, where everyone brings a few pieces of memorabilia. It could be anything, like a record, a flyer, a magazine, or just like a trinket or something from a rap show, and you just tell a story behind it. And we're gonna have some food and drinks and just bun a ting and just yeah, play some music and just people sharing hip hop stories in the spot.
I think that's like a wonderful vibe on a multitude of levels. Um, because like right away, like the vibe that comes across is the cipher. You know what I mean? Like right away it
Yeah,
comes off. So it's very like hip hop, and it's
you nailed it.
communal, it's participatory, and like everyone's kind of bringing in like an offering, a gift. So like I like that energy as well. You know what I mean? It's like you're coming into a space intentional, and you're bringing something sacred, and then you're going to share that. I mean that could only bring more connection. You're going to learn something. You're going to find something interesting. You know what I mean? Like, you might meet some new friends just off of what's being shared. So I think having spaces that are offline, that are in person for people to connect in these ways are extremely valuable and important. I think we need more of that. And I know there's like hip hop karaoke's and other things like board game nights and stuff like that. But like I love it. Like I think that's what we need. To put the screens away. Don't get me wrong. I love my technology. I got devices and screens everywhere, but there's something about connecting in person and sharing stories and hearing energy and looking at people in their eyes, and you know what I mean, that you just I just don't want humanity to lose that, and I worry that that's going to be something that's going to be like forgotten, or it's going to be a difficult thing, or people aren't going to remember how to connect in that way. So these moments that you all are creating organically, I see it as like counterculture to some of these concerns, because I'm concerned, bro. I'm concerned.
You nailed it. You hit a home run out the park with that, man. I see some like I'm hearing very disturbing and concerning things about like a variety of fundamental life basics that some of the younger generation kids are having trouble with or not even knowing how to do. From this there's a multitude of lessons in this one example right here. So Tupac released a Tupac letter, handwritten letter, was just released last week. Tupac's breakup letter from Madonna. He was like writing it from jail.
Yeah,
It's a 3-page letter written in Tupac's hand on some yellow paper. And he's just writing all these ill things. He's like, it's complicated being celebrities,
yeah,
blackness, blah, 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 just all these ill things. And Tupac's like, I'm dealing with my jail case. All this ill shit is just like coming from his heart. You're reading the actual letter. And there was a discussion about how many people in the young generation were like, I can't read handwriting. And they couldn't read, and
yeah.
it wasn't even cursive handwriting where all the like it's all
Actual
cursive.
handwriting.
It
Yeah,
was
like
just printing.
we
Tupac
don't
just
do that. No,
printed
no
it. You
kids.
just
Yeah,
like just regular printing, just regular with a pen and pen. And it wasn't like I've seen Michael Jackson's printing. Like Michael Jackson is pretty.
yeah,
50 Cent has horrible handwriting. Jay-Z is pretty shitty handwriting. Tupac's is
yeah,
pretty good. Like it's just
yeah,
normal, like just
yeah,
school teacher handwriting.
yeah.
And a bunch of these young kids were getting Grok and like Chat GPT. They're like, "Can you translate this letter because we don't know how to read this?" And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? It's just normal. Like it's really just normal writing." And I'm like, this is like not knowing how to do that. But like, I mean, there's a bunch of things like not knowing how to socialize that much. I
All of
mean,
that.
there's so many levels of things that are just not happening that much. Not knowing how to dance. Like there was like a
Yeah.
Jodeci fifth like some celebration. I was like, what is the Jodeci of this generation? Like, who's the like music that kids play to like when they're gonna fool around? Like, I don't even know if they have anything.
That's a good question. Maybe like I don't know. I feel like SZA may come to mind or something. Like I don't know if there's any
Maybe, yeah.
male representation. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It's good. That's a good question there, man. But
But
yeah, like
and
you're,
it,
you're right though. Like, like some of these like fundamentals, we got to turn them into activities now. Even like with my kids, because they're in that generation, what they call Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and they are what you call digital natives, so they don't know a time before like technology and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like when I'm talking about the 90s, I sound like a dinosaur to them. Like back in
yeah.
my days, we had
Yeah,
dial-up and
yeah.
cassette tape.
What do you mean waiting to rewind? What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like they just started over, like blip.
yeah.
Like, yo,
Like I'm realizing that the way how we were socialized, for better or for worse, definitely gave us, or allotted us some skills, that we didn't really notice as skills. It was just regular life. You know what I mean? Like just simple things as like memorizing phone numbers or something. Like that was a
yeah,
necessity of life at that time. We didn't have
that's
like a device that just had everything, right? But what I'm saying is that now we're at a place now where some of these like simple fundamentals now need to be activities to just kind of like as like mental exercise to keep the brain going. So with my kids, they're Gen Z, Gen Alpha. I got them like word search puzzles and crosswords and like actual
nice.
puzzles. You know what I mean? So it's like when they're like, "Oh, I'm bored," and when they're done scrolling and watching all the programs that they watch, it's like we're gonna build a puzzle together.
Yo, that's
Together.
fire.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
with your hands and your
yeah,
brain.
thank you. Like, just and I realize that we're at a place in society now where we have to get back to these fundamentals. And even
Yo,
I'm like reteaching my kids like how to like when you come across someone and they greet you, like how to greet them, and then how do you have like a follow-up question just to to be polite and just to engage, and I'm like literally giving them play by play. It's like when someone says, say how you doing, it's like, and then you can ask them about, if it's someone older than them, you can ask them like what do they do for work, or how's the family, like just
yes.
keep the conversation going, and to be able to like hold space so you can control the narrative of the room as opposed to letting the room impact you. You know what I mean? So these are all skills that we have to like learn and go back to, because everything is so convenient and just on display that we don't have to think anymore. So that now
That's
when we do have to think, it's like, hey, what do you want for dinner? It's like, oh my god, like oh. It's like they can't even answer that. It's like, this is crazy. You want a prompt?
yo,
Like,
that's wild. Yeah. And it's like get to the point where you can think of something and then you can make it yourself if you want to, or you know where to go get it, or you have a variety of options where you're not at the mercy of technology or somebody else perpetually, and
that's
just
it. Like,
you're not at the mercy of the lack of convenience.
yeah. Yo, that's the thing. The convenience culture is so crazy, yo.
It's
Like,
getting crazy, man. Yo, people just like expect everything at their finger. Yo, somebody I
it's
saw
not,
something
it's
there.
not.
Yo, somebody was like, universities right now are kids writing essays in Chat GPT and teachers marking them with Chat GPT. Nobody.
Yo, I mean, from an educator standpoint, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, there's some fantastic resources, like from an educator standpoint, like to support with like presentations and like markings and whatnot. Yo, like, like honestly, like because I'm in the schools or whatever, so I hear a lot with the teachers, and a lot of them, like even on the weekends, they're like marking papers. They don't have like time for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of like off hours work that teachers put in that people don't even like notice or even take note of. It's wild. So I ain't really mad at that. You know what I mean? Like we're just at a place now where it is what it is. It's like, how do we use these as tools, but not to like replace like the human brain? Because if we rely on it too much, then that's to me like the quickest way that we're just going to enslave ourselves.
A
We're just going
hundred
to dumb
percent.
ourselves down to the point where we can't even think. Like our brains are going to get rewired to being used to just getting fed responses as opposed to like extracting ideas from the universe and like what I mean, like the whole process on your own, right? So these are skills that
Yo,
we have to do ourselves. Like we have to intentionally do that.
100%. Like, so there was, did you see last week there was a blackout? It was actually pretty mysterious and weird. There was a blackout in San Francisco, okay? There was a blackout and there was so the power goes out.
Okay.
And there is apparently a like a drive like electric driverless Uber system in San Francisco.
Oh,
So they have like Uber, but it's like this like super future thing where it's all they don't have humans driving them. It's just robot. Like so the entire system of those cars went out because of the blackout. And all of those cars got stranded in the middle of the street because they rely on electricity. And so only those, but like only those specific vehicles. So that's like, and it just shows, and people are just getting out of them and they're like, what the fuck is happening? So they're like, they see like the building is blacked out, but they're like, my car just shut down too. And other people are just driving by them slowly, like, see you later. You're like,
see, too
this
much
is
convenience.
crazy.
Yeah,
Too
man.
much
Like,
convenience, yo. It's like, yo, this is like to the detriment of your life. And like all of them
yo,
just
let's
like
put it this way,
done.
man. Like I still collect books, like
Hell yeah.
physical books. You know what I mean? Because I know I got a lot of files, on my computer of digital books and whatnot. But yo, I'm paranoid, man. There's gonna come a time where, what I'm saying, like the internet is just gonna shut down, and all this digital like dependency is just gonna like not be available for a long time, and we're gonna have to get back to like the basics. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to be sending text messages not with your phone, but through pigeon courier. So you're gonna have to like get that letter again, and you gotta fold it on that piece of paper like how we used to do back in the day in class. We want to send a note to your brethren in the back. You got to pass that note down, man. Send a text. You know what I'm saying? You
Yo,
got to
that's
write that
real.
down to get back to it, yo.
That's real. That's real. And that might not be a bad thing. And yeah, like because there is, I mean, we can't even measure it right now, but there is no question. Like we're there's two mental epidemics that society is currently like in the middle of creating and like dealing with the effects of
Yeah.
the Facebook addiction epidemic and the Instagram addiction epidemic.
Facebook. Well,
I
who am
think
I saying
Facebook
that?
was.
I've
I
been on
think
Facebook for like 20
yeah,
years.
but yeah, that's the thing. Like we've been off it, and like I'm saying, Facebook was the first one, and
Yeah,
it's just like I don't think that like it still exists. It's not nearly as popular or whatever, but I'm
yeah.
just saying that was the very first one. Remember when that shit was like, yeah, that like right
It
after
became
MySpace,
very
everyone's
big.
like that's optional, but Facebook is like it's like mandatory, and it's like yo, it got yo, somebody, there was a couple of times, and people say one thing about Facebook sometimes where I'm like, that in history is going to be a very horrific fucking statement
What?
to reflect upon, where they say that sometimes Facebook is a living crime scene. You know, when people like live stream the fucking deaths that happen on
Oh,
it, like
that's happened quite a bit. Yeah, 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 yeah.
mad people have fucking died in a live stream, like
Wow.
on fucking like I
Yeah,
rest in peace, Philando Castile. Like, I love that brother, man. And he on Facebook live stream, he fucking died, and like he was murdered by the
yeah,
cops, but like yeah, like that shit is like not. And like Instagram is like another different addiction, but like yeah, like the mental addiction of some of these platforms and the impact on society, and like like tying into the convenience and the cult of personality and the necessity or whatever, like
mhm.
and just like doom scrolling and fucking what people do for popularity and likes and shit. That's just like, yeah, that shit is needs to come to a break one day, and people just be like, yo, let's just go back to being alive.
Yeah, because we gotta, like we live this life, and we're just here passing through, and I'm trying to soak up all of this experience as possible. And if we're always, distracted by technology, we're missing a lot of life, And I was having this conversation with my daughter, the other day, and we were talking about something that happened like 2 years ago, and like she couldn't even like remember. You know what I mean? It was like a somewhat of a significant time, and moment or whatever, and she could like barely remember that. And she was like, "Let's say back in the day." I'm like, 2 years is not back in the day. You know what I'm
Two
saying? Like
years is
because
not
there's
back
so
in
much. But then to be fair,
two years
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
Wow.
He's like, I can't remember all those kinds of things or whatever. I'm just like, yo, and I started realizing that you
two
know,
years.
the thing is, it's like the culture where it's at right now. There's so much like online time that we're missing these moments of being present. You know what I mean? Because like when you're like present in a moment, you're gonna remember some stuff. But if you're just kind of like passively existing, it's just like whatever, whatever. So I'm like, yo, and that this is how I know that I'm becoming that kind of dad where it's like everything turns into a lecture, and my kids like are so my kids are teenagers, you know what I mean? So they're not trying to hear lectures right now, but I don't care. I'm gonna give them the lectures anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gonna
It's like,
learn. No, straight up, though,
oh,
man.
you
No,
gotta
you
learn.
got
Like
no, you got to be Lawrence Fishburne on that ass, because
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, this is some life shit, and whether or not, yo, with the right life jewels from the right parent, like whether or not the kid is a knucklehead or they're smart enough to actually be like, hey, this person's dropping a gem on me, like you still got to pass it down, like,
Well, because like I've been looking at my kids and they're like straight, like homebodies, and it's cool. That's just the generation. Our generation was outside. Yo, listen, you want to talk about outside? We were
yeah,
outside. There is no way that I could be at home on a Friday night or Saturday night and just chilling. I'm
no
outside, man. Are you
way,
kidding me? There's all kinds of things popping. There's always a house party. There's always somewhere to go to. Always a club. Always something popping. You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
These kids now, it's just like they just want to go home and chill, like on their devices, and they're cool with that. So for me, I'm just like, yo, we gotta create experiences, right? Because my kids are gonna go through this wave and then get older and then literally have no memories. They're just gonna be like, all I remember is being on my phone. Like,
Yo, for real.
yo,
Oh, wow,
like they're not gonna
wow.
remember. It's like, yo, man, remember that time, man, when we tried to go to that club, and dude had like the baggy clothes on and wouldn't let us in, and we had to share that slice of pizza. Like all these memories are not being curated.
Yeah, for
Like it's so
real.
it's so interesting. So, anyways, I'm off
Yo,
my.
no, that's life, man. No, I'm so with you. That's everything, man. Yeah, that's and like yeah, I like to document. I capture stuff because for various reasons, like because of the journalist in me and the real life documentarian, as
That's good,
Talib
man.
Kweli
I love
said.
it.
but like at the same time, I do my very best to be very alive and very connected to the moments that I'm living in.
Gotcha.
And yeah,
Because
I'm like, yeah,
that's all we have, and I think that when I look at 2025, because for me it was like a year of just a lot of loss and just reflection, and that's really what it's all about, man. Like to be alive, to be present, and because at the end of the day, man, that's all we have is all we have is like our memories. You know what I mean? Like I think about when I transition into another form of existence. I can't take this body with me. I can't take my things and accomplishments. All I'm going to have is my consciousness and my experiences that are attached to that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
man.
I'll be able to relive that. I'll be like, yeah, I lived a good life, man. When I was a human being, man, I was like, yo, like I got all those memories right here, and I can replay them, man. I'm good to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I'm
you,
so
you
with you,
want that? You
yo.
know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That
Mhm.
to me, like that's what it's all about. That's the bottom line.
Yo, straight up, straight up. Yeah, I agree. Hey, so
Yeah,
for the last 5 minutes,
yeah.
well, yeah, I
What
got
you got, man?
something in the, I got a little something in the mail. I thought I should pull out.
Yeah. Okay, let's go, man. This guy got some show and tell. This is like a pre show and tell vibe.
This is a
Just
pre-show and tell
getting
vibe.
a little vibe of what it's like.
Yo, I want to tell a quick little story on this too, to actually realize like the reality of the fuckery of politics of the time that we're living in.
Oh, oh,
So I got this certain gift from Hip Hop Santa Claus and the Hip Hop Museum. I saw this very limited edition thing, and I was like, I'm gonna get this. So I order it. I pay for full shipping and handling because I wanted to come here safe and sound.
yeah.
And as it was on its way, I get a next message and it says, you must pay an extra $45 on this due to tariffs.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, I know. I was so fucking vexed. I was like, this motherfucker. This is exactly what it is. I already paid full fucking price and shipping and handling already. And then they just like that's what it is. They just slapped on an
Get
extra
the Nicholas sold in the
$45.
park I want in.
Yeah, exactly. That motherfucker did that. So I could not get my gift until I paid that extra $45, but I did. So I could get
Oh,
my Wu Tang
the
Monopoly board.
premium cash everything.
Cream edition Wu Tang Monopoly.
Man. Oh
Yo,
man.
yo, it is so sick.
That's a vibe, yo.
Yo, it is
Jeez.
so
Okay,
sick.
okay.
So yeah, they got all kinds of Wu Tang pieces. Yo, yo, one thing I didn't realize, I'll show you this. These are the houses,
Okay.
and these are the motels. You see what they are?
Nah, I can't really tell.
Yo, these you see what color they are? Black,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yellow,
Okay.
Killer Bee.
Killer bees. Yes, yes, yes.
Yo, the housing is in Killer Bee, and yo, so I'll show you some of the pieces that you use to walk around the board, yo. I'll just show three of them.
Okay.
That's the first one. This is the second one, a pair of nunchucks.
You got a
And
wallaby in there? You gotta have a wallaby in there.
I wish there was a wallaby, but there is actually this.
Okay.
And I'll pull out one more. Yo.
Ah, that's fire.
So these are the pieces that you use to move around the board. A turntable. Like this thing is so ill. Oh yo, you also get a poster with it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you get this crazy poster with it. So yeah, there's the Wu-Tang Cream game, Monopoly.
I wish they did something, because as you're unboxing, it's reminding me of when Wu-Tang Forever first came out, the double CD, and that was such like an advanced, disc at that time because it was the enhanced CD. So you can play that Word.
Yeah,
So
the forever. Yeah.
yeah, so you can like play the CD like in your computer, whatever, and it'll pop up. Like it would be cool if something like this was like augmented reality and whatnot, like some type of like animation or something. So when you use your phone, you can scan over it and like an animation comes up, or like RZA starts coming and starts dropping some jewels. You know what I mean? Like dropping some
Yo, that would be
bags or something.
fire.
Like, yeah. No, this is the technology. Yo, I'm giving out free ideas, man. Like, yo, I got nonstop ideas. I don't even care anymore. I just want to see it happen. Like, we got to
Yo,
like
that's
tap
real.
into like all these new and innovative ways of engaging and dropping knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's facts. That's facts. I'm with you, man. And yo, they're like, yo, you actually, that's a fantastic idea, man. Woo, I wish Woo would do that. I mean, Woo is pretty awesome. They make lots of cool things. Yo, you know what I just saw?
mm.
Um, Method Man just had the 30th anniversary of Tikal, and he put out a a speaker, like a little Bluetooth speaker that is shaped like a beeper.
Oh, I love
It's
it.
it's shaped like a beeper, and it has the Tikal sign on it. And he's like, "Yo, this is a Bluetooth boombox." And he's like, "Yo, it's a beeper." So I'm like, "Yo, that is so ill." Like that's so Wu Tang. Like they be doing mad ill ideas, but like there's never enough
No,
ideas when
I
you're.
love all that nostalgic stuff. You know what I mean? Like when even artists are putting out albums on cassette tapes and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I love that. Like we got to. You know.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is the year of going back to physical media for sure. Like that's where I mean, that's one thing. That's another thing. I mean, we should talk about this more in the conversation because the conversation's not going away.
Mhm.
Um, like when people talk about, oh, the 90s was the best or one of the best decades ever, it's like people always talk about the music. Yeah, 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 Illmatic and fucking Infamous and Cuban Links. But I'm like, yo, when you talk about Cuban Links and you say, what do you say after you say purple? You say purple tape. This was the era of tapes and CDs. The 90s was built on physical
Yeah.
media, vinyl, CDs, and tapes.
Yeah.
Like we all, even if we
Magazine.
were even if we were bootlegging, we were making a second copy and another physical copy. But like
Yeah.
it was built on handing people physical media and mailing it out and like touching the culture. And like that was a major part of it.
And also too, like as you're saying that, there was like this kind of like inner circle kind of vibe too, and
Yeah.
like this element of like discovery. Not just like these like curated playlists or whatever. Like you had to like discover things, and then you may have your brethren who may have that cassette, and then he may not even give you a dub. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like he might be like, "Nah, I'm gonna have the exclusive."
that happened. That
You
did
want to hear
happen.
that song? You got to come to my house to play that, and that's how it was. But think about it from a cultural standpoint, what that does. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It builds a certain kind of like rapport and just like a certain kind of energy where you really appreciate a song. And like, there's songs where like you hear once and then you're like, what is that song? You're like driving nuts. And then it's like years later, you hear it in a club and you're like, yo, I've been trying to figure out that song for like 10 years. And you got to run to the DJ and tell him, like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm
What
saying? Like,
was that? What
you
was
don't
that? You look at the
understand.
record and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah,
you're like looking this like,
you don't
oh, finally
understand
see
like
the label.
the pain and satisfaction, you know what I mean, of like figuring it out, of like living through not knowing. And then when you finally get that, you're like, yo,
That is so real. That is so
whole different
real.
relationship with like the music. That's why we feel it so much, and we're so, we take lyrics and we analyze and dissect it like as if we wrote it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we get so passionate with the lyrics, like as if we wrote it.
Yo, that's facts, yo. Oh man. Yo, we say it like we wrote it, we feel it like we lived it. Man, that is so
Yeah.
real.
Like that
Yo.
is, and I'm sure it exists, because my kids would probably argue with me. Like I'm sure that type of energy still exists, but not in the same context that we experienced, man. It was a whole other world, man, because it wasn't on demand. Like you had to like really be outside, you had to really be connected, or at least have a brethren who might have had an older brother who was tapped in. I mean, that had, in my case, a lot of my friends had older brothers that would have like the magazines and like the vinyl crates, and we sneak into their room and like get all this exclusive stuff or whatever. But like, yeah, you had to, it was like a treasure hunt, man. You had to really go out and find it.
Hmm. You're absolutely right, yo. That is facts, facts, facts.
Hip hop,
And oh man, yeah. I mean, and yo, I saw Eric Sermon talking about it. It was really dope. He was doing some interviews for his Dynamic Duos album that dropped, which
okay.
is which is pretty dope. Well, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Um, yeah, but yeah, he was really bigging up the importance of physical media again. He's like, yo, actually, he just broke down the math in like the clearest way. He's like,
Uh-huh.
yo, what would you rather do? Have eight? He goes, you have 1,000 fans buying something on your website for 80 to $100, or you get like 1.2 million streams on Spotify, and it came up to like $500, like something way lower than obviously what literally 1,000 fans would give you. It's like, yo, just get your. He's just
Build your
like,
community. Yeah, that's it.
and that's exactly it. He's like, yo, we're back in the age. He's like, he's like, the best way to exist in the music industry now, yo, just have an old school website and sell direct to consumer.
That's
Just
it.
like
That's
sell
it.
physical media to your fans again, and like, be like, yo, we're taking it back to the
Yeah.
streets, man. Fuck these computers. Fuck this convenience. Like, fuck
And just to add
Spotify.
to
Because
that, just
yeah,
to add to this, you know what I mean? Like this is a great time I feel for some of us like older, seasoned artists, you know what I mean, who are not in our 20s anymore. Like this is a time period where it's like we shine because we're also part of the demographic that has the money, that wants to hear like what we're talking about and that will support it, you know what I mean, and understands the value of building that community and the value of artists and whatnot. So as older artists, you don't be sitting on the fence, sitting at home being like, yeah, man, should I dust off the mic or not? Like, yo, this is the time right now. You know, we're
yeah.
living in a new golden era, man. It's like a second wave where that stigma of age in hip hop is slowly, fading away. You know what I mean? There's markets for everybody right now.
Oh man, you're absolutely right. And like this year was, like I said, like
Uh,
2025 was a spectacular year. There was a couple other people who did drop jewels, but definitely Nas and the Mass Appeal thing. They just were like, all the old legends were like, "Hey man, yo, we're just gonna stay in our lanes and just keep cruising." But yo, we ain't even concerned with you young cats. But I didn't like. There was some young cats who dropped shit, but I didn't hear no new young cat that was like tearing up the game and dropping like mad super awesome stuff. Like, not really. Like, I'm not saying there was none, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like some, yo, it just wasn't, man. There was like, yo, the like people talking about Uncle Rap. Uncle Rap was really the flex this year, and like Ghostface dropped a good album. Raekwon dropped a great album.
yep.
Fucking, De La Soul dropped maybe the album of the year. If you don't think that, what I think, Mobb Deep was the best album I heard last year. Like, that shit was
Okay.
a fucking masterpiece. And, like, amazing. Like, Slick Rick was a good album. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was a good album. Slick Rick was solid.
Put it out there, man. Like I said, I just love to see it, and it's just one of those like reminders that hey, man, like the art doesn't die, man, and you can continue to build your audience. You know what I mean, and just keep doing what you're doing because there's people who are looking for you. They are,
hmm
man, I'm telling you.
hmm Absolutely.
That's it,
Yeah.
man. So I guess
Well,
we can sign off like that. I don't know if you have anything else to add on. I know there's a couple shows coming up. We got Shad K in February and Ghostface February 1st. You know what I'm
word
saying?
up, word.
Phoenix,
True,
Shad K is a mod club. And
true.
that's all I know as of now. But hey, always stuff going down in Toronto.
Yeah, yo, there is. The last thing I will bring up, I don't know, did you, when I went to go see my family, I left on December 17th, and that was like the first or second day of Lauryn Hill doing stuff in Toronto. She did like 3 events.
Oh yeah,
Did
you
you
know
see
what? Like
any of
I
it?
missed all of that. Like I saw the concert stuff, and then I saw that she came on Queen Street, which is not too far from you. And
Yeah, that's the thing. The day I
I
was
missed that.
leaving, I was like,
Yeah,
oh shit,
yeah, yeah. I
my flight
definitely
left.
would have.
Yeah.
I would have pulled up to that. But yeah, I totally missed out on that. But yo, that's cool, and I feel like more artists should do that. Like you know what I mean? Like, and because like that reminded me of those in sessions that artists would do at say at HMV or others places. Where they
Yeah.
would have a meet and greet or whatever. You have your concert, but then they're coming to some kind of local spot. Like that that movement is something that's so important that I feel like is lost. Like you don't really see much of that. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember when we interviewed Gary from 100 Miles, he kind of like mentioned that, like that was kind of like the flex, back then. Like artists would come through, they come like come to the store, maybe get some gear or whatever, maybe go to HMV, whatever, and then do the show. So there was like this building community element as opposed to this like disconnection of like the artist and the actual community. Like there's like this paywall. It's like no, the artist is actually coming to the ends. They might even go to the hood, hang out for a bit, and then do their performances or whatever. So I like that, where artists are coming back. We need more of that building community, not having these like celebrity energy where they're like so untouchable. It's like, nah, you're just a human being like anybody else. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that word up, word up. Actually, the last thing I'll say because it was actually a pretty cool example of that
Yeah.
was Jadakiss. Did you see Jadakiss on New Year's Eve? He was like walking through Times Square.
Okay.
It was pretty funny footage. Jadakiss like had a camera like a couple feet behind him, and he's like, "This is my city. Who else could do this? Who else could do this? Just walk through Times Square, no security." And Jadakiss is just like walking like right near the where the Times Square thing is. He's got like two or three dudes on him, and he's walking too fast for people to kind of really like catch
Yeah.
who it is. But then like one dude sees him and he's like, "Hey, Jadakiss, what up?" And like salutes him respectfully. And then this other knucklehead sees him. He's like, "Yo, is that Jadakiss?" And then tries to like make a moment out of it on like some like make a social media moment of it.
Yeah.
And Jadakiss is like, "Fuck you," and like leaves. He's like, and then he's like, "That kid." He said something like, "That kid didn't know how close he was to getting fucked up or getting an elbow in the head." Or saying Jadakiss is like, "Yo, I'm trying to be good out here," and he's just like walking around, and it was pretty
That's
funny.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
It was. I was like, "Yeah, man,
Nice.
that's." I'm like, "Yeah, Jada, that's what's up." Like, yeah, just walk around.
Yeah.
So, so shout out to all the real ones out there in the streets. You know, doing the work where we have to do it digitally because we know what time it is. I ain't gonna ignore the cutting edge technology that exists, but at the same time, knowing when to balance it and get back to what's real, family, friends, and life, and truth and integrity. So
That's
that's
it.
what we're gonna do 2026.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going. All right, man. So that's what's up, man. So I guess we're gonna sign off like that. Me, Reminisce show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time live. I know today we're a little bit late, but it's all good. We right on time. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for real,
That's
for
how we
real.
doing it, man. Peace to everyone who tapped in. It's all love. And yeah, man, we're gonna keep it real, man. Always bringing the truth, always bringing the essence, hip hop,